With UFC 5 having the most abysmal ratings we've seen in the entire franchise, one of the biggest complaints is the lack of replayability. And one of the best ways to increase the replayability of a game is to have some well thought out game modes. I've put together 3 game modes that I truly think would save the UFC franchise. The first game mode is a gym coach slash manager mode. Previous UFC games allowed you to choose a gym to train at in career mode, but what if you could be the head coach and manager of UFC fighters? Imagine a career mode that starts you with your own small gym, minimal equipment, and a few low-level fighters to train. You begin training your fighters to improve their stats and help them schedule their first amateur fights. During fights, you're in their corner providing fight advice in real time. In between rounds, you have a list of strategies to choose from to help your fighter adapt during the fight and win. You can help negotiate their fight purses and the percentage you collect from your fighter per fight. You can schedule press conferences and media to help the fighter build their hype, and you can assist with their social media to create rivalries and gain more attention for your fighters. And let's be real here, with the incorporation of AI in the world, I can only imagine it's possible to have an extensive social media mechanic in UFC to ensure that you don't get the same generic responses every time you use it. As they progress and win more fights, you guide them through multiple promotions all the way to the UFC. During this time, you sustain enough money to buy new gym equipment, or even buy a whole new facility for more room as you recruit more fighters. Essentially, this is an MMA fighter manager game mode. Before you know it, you're managing multiple champions in the UFC and building one of the best training facilities in the world of mixed martial arts. If EA truly put effort into this game mode and had a ton of detail with it, I genuinely think I would find myself playing this game mode more than anything. As long as the replayability is there, you have progression, you can get that new equipment, you have a ton of facilities to choose from to buy and progress. You can kind of like draft new fighters and have your fighter roster. I genuinely think this would be so much fun, and I think it would add an entire new player base to the game. So the next game mode is one we definitely have all heard of. It's Ultimate Team. If you're not familiar with Ultimate Team, it was implemented in EA UFC 2. In this game mode, you're tasked with creating a team of 5 fighters that are set per weight division in the UFC with the overall goal of becoming an online champion. Virtual coins and real cash, if you wanted to spend it, were your currency for opening packs. Each pack contained a variation of stat boosts, techniques, and potentially a signature move from a UFC fighter. Using these items will develop and shape your fighter. You could use your fighters to play online, or you could play offline against other players' fighters they've created. It was seriously so much fun and added a variety of opponents to go against. The coolest part is that even when you were offline, your fighters would still fight and collect coins and rewards for you so that the next time you logged on, you had some currency to buy more packs. NBA 2K has had this game mode in the form of My Team for years, and quite honestly, it's really detailed with a ton of different components. They have various challenges, an auction market, and several game modes, and while there's the option for microtransactions and pay-to-win mechanics, it's still possible to build a great team pretty quickly. I know the 2K community will probably rip me for saying this, but My Team in 2K is completely playable without spending money, and the variation of game modes and challenges you have, it's truly a ton of fun. Not to mention the card packs they have and the designs of those card packs. Having emerald cards, ruby cards, it's truly awesome. There is a level of detail they've put into designing everything, and I would love to see that detail in UFC. I could really see the newest UFC game adding this game mode again with a ton of options of unlocking moves, stats, and boosts, as well as fighter cards with their alter egos that they love to push so much in the game. Imagine you beat someone with a first round knockout as a challenge, and you unlock some packs of cards. You open your cards and you get the debut version of Conor McGregor. In your next pack, you get the BMF version of Max Holloway. You can get cosmetics, new tattoos, fight gear, emotes, taunts. There can be a tournament mode and a backyard fights mode. I mean, the options are really endless if EA decides to actually be creative with this. And as much as I hate microtransactions and pay-to-win mechanics, I genuinely can't see how EA didn't redo this game mode. It would have been a complete gold mine for them. But regardless, if this game mode is re-added to the next UFC game, it would absolutely need to be playable without microtransactions for players to actually enjoy it. As long as there's a level of grinding for digital currency to get packs for your fighters, I think it's worth it. As long as it's actually achievable. I really don't care that there's people that will blow all of their money and create the best fighters, because in the Ultimate Team game mode, there were actual divisions, there were rankings, and so even if you played online, you weren't really going against somebody's fighter that was well beyond your skill level. They had quite similar stats overall. The whole reason I'm even making this video is solely because of Ultimate Team. I missed the game mode so much I booted up UFC 2 again and then quickly realized the game's completely offline and I couldn't even fight the offline fighters anymore. So the game mode is just gone forever and I'm so devastated. I've tried to Google the game mode and just kind of relive the glory days and see the old packs again. It was so much fun. It truly was. I really hope they bring it back. I really do. So this last game mode is actually more of a bonus game mode, and I can't really take credit for it. This was posted by CalebStone53 on Reddit, and I thought the idea was right up my alley of this video. So they've suggested an event creator / manager mode. And essentially, it's kind of like the universe mode on WWE games and a bit like Madden's franchise mode, where it will allow you to set ticket prices for events, merch sales, etc. You can have a built-in calendar, and that will allow you to book events months ahead. You can have storylines that includes preset social media posts that they show on the menu of the mode, or they can make cutscenes with these fighters kind of getting rough at a press conference. But there needs to be some form of a rivalry system to keep the mode alive and keep people engaged. And the game mode would also keep track of records in the game mode, but you'd be allowed to switch up the rankings, set champions, and strip champions of their belt. There's an injury / time off system that would be cool to see. That way the fighters have to take off time to heal and then train. Keep it realistic and make them only fight really 3 to 4 times a year. The longevity system needs to stay out of this game mode though, because quite honestly, things would be kind of trash if it was in. And then you need to be able to spend your money that you're making from the ticket prices and sponsorships. So you need to essentially pay the rent to the arenas and manage the contracts. So you're basically in full-blown Dana White mode. And quite honestly, I think it's a really cool idea. It kind of dances on the line of the original coach / manager mode I mentioned earlier, but managing the overall events is a completely different piece. You're really taking on the role of Dana White, figuring out the best events you can matchmake, trying to pull in as much pay-per-view sales as you possibly can, and throwing on an amazing fight card every single weekend. I think it's awesome. I truly do. I think this is such a good game mode, and having it be separate but still have a good level of detail, overall this is providing 3 absolutely amazing game modes that are going to keep people coming back and kind of making simulations with the game. And quite honestly, I would also like to just throw in another level of Pride mode. We don't need all the Pride sponsorships and everything else, obviously, that's never coming back. But if we could just have a game mode where you can have the Pride rules, that would be awesome. Give me some longer rounds and head stomps. I think that's going to add another component to the game that will really get people excited to play again. If you have all of these game modes incorporated, you have so many different things that you can play and build on and come back and keep building and grinding and making more out of the game. It's truly, in my opinion, the best route to take. And while there's a lot of things I'd like to see be improved in the UFC franchise, and while we still have some key gameplay fixes that are needed, I'd be willing to get past some of that if I had game modes that actually kept my attention. These game modes would provide avenues for different UFC fans and players, and would maintain a level of replayability that's truly needed. So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Personally, I think it's a great idea. I'm curious to hear what you all will say. I'm sure a lot of it will be complaints regarding the potential microtransactions and pay-to-win situations, but I've just kind of accepted that that's going to be gaming forever at this point. Until we have a small game development company that's willing to put in the effort to make a really solid MMA game, I don't think we're going back to the days before microtransactions. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.